in life, want to expect that someday I'm gonna be gone. Oh, you've been around. Oh, you've seen. Oh, you've been around. Slowly turning. Feels right, 'cause it seems right, and it feels right, 'cause it feels right. How long you gonna call my name? How long you gonna feel this way?
What's up, everybody? Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Friday evening here with LSUOdyssey.com. I'm your host, Lon Philip Sullivan. You are our distinguished guests, our guests of honor, and you'll probably hear some background noise from the madman Little Sage. We usually do these Friday live streams because Friday is my day off from work, and I have the day off with Sage, and it's usually a good time. I just got back from taking him to all these crazy places to run around into the store as well, and so now hopefully he will be able to chill like usual for a bit here while we do a show. Because that's what we like to do. That's what we like to do, is try and give a show here on a Friday for the people, for the diehard LSU diehard fans who subscribe to our stuff, who have believed in our stuff for years. Thank you so much for doing so, and thank you so much for watching this and for being with us on this Friday, or if you're watching it later. You know, interestingly enough, a lot of the YouTube views I've been seeing that we've garnered have actually come, we have a very strong and committed, like, live base of folks that always watch when we go live, which is incredible that, like, you could be able to watch someone's live stream every time. There's some people who do that. We're honored by that. But a lot of our views come from people later on after the fact, and so we really appreciate people watching the streams after the fact as well. That's a big deal to us, and that's why we do this stuff, man, is obviously to share our views on LSU football, to get yours, to kind of have a back and forth, and kind of not to one up each other and see who's better, blah blah blah, but to really kind of to unveil, to unleash the truth, to come to a place where we can all see what is what, and that's what we always want. We always just want to know what is at the source of this, what is at the core of something, whether that's a new coach, is this guy really a winner, that type of stuff. New quarterback, is this guy really going to be a starter quality for LSU? Is this guy going to be able to actually go to that level of Burrow, of Daniels? Those questions could apply applicably right now to Brian Kelly and Garrett Nussmeier going into 2025. But I have to say, I am extremely confident. Maybe not extremely, but like I'm really feeling great about where LSU football is right now. LSU football right now, it has to make you feel good when you look at what LSU has on the roster. Obviously, biblical amounts of injuries can change anyone's season. Anyone's season. You have, your star players in like 6 different positions go down. Obviously, you're going to have some trouble. Duh. Even, LSU's defense, far improved from 2023. But when it mattered against the teams it should have mattered, it almost went back to 2023-esque type of season defensively because you felt the lack of, some of the presence of those guys. Harold Perkins, you needed his speed against the dual threat quarterbacks. You needed to actually practice the possibility of playing against a dual threat quarterback. In the case of Texas A&M, knowing you were going to shut down Connor Wakeman, knowing Connor Wakeman sucks. A lot of people didn't even know Marcel Reed existed. I was one of them. Obviously, I'm not that really, obsessive about watching Texas A&M football. And I hate Texas A&M so much that I didn't do my preparation the week for that game as much as I should have. Because if I really had done my preparation as much as I would have and should have with Texas A&M, just like Blake Baker should have, we would have been like, wow, Marcel Reed probably will come into this game, because I just felt like LSU would absolutely collapse and destroy and suffocate Connor Wakeman like they did. It was probably that first half against Texas A&M was probably one of the best halves of football defensively LSU had all of last season. And then the second half, the worst. It was incredible. And obviously, difference was they were getting interceptions and turnovers right on our 15, 20-yard line with a dual threat quarterback who only needed to, make a fake and make a 10-yard run a lot of the times. So, capitalizing off of LSU mistakes, all that type of stuff. But it's very interesting how that type of stuff can happen, where you don't account for one player, a backup quarterback buried on the depth chart, and you lose a game because of that. That is why we love college football. That is why we are glued to college football. When that sport comes back in late August, early September, right as you feel that kind of starburst, kind of sun-kissed twilight feel of fall coming on, that's when it all comes back into full swing. And that's why we love football. It's why we love college football specifically. The NFL has fallen back gravely. The NFL is not even close to as entertaining or as exciting as college football. But that is why we are pumped and excited for this season ahead with LSU football, because I think you have to be encouraged from what you saw in LSU's spring so far. LSU are going to have a few more weeks of spring camp here. They're going to do one more week, and then they're going to have that spring open practice with a 30-minute autograph session after. I know there's going to be like 5 autographs done. 30-minute autograph session after the open practice, which will probably get extended. So come on out regardless. Make sure you're there. And LSU football will be doing another round of practices after that, Brian Kelly revealed. So for the first time ever that I've heard of, LSU are going to be practicing more after the spring game. And it's because, as Brian Kelly said, we need to take advantage of every absolute minute we can have with this team. And why wouldn't you? Every minute, every single second the NCAA allows, why wouldn't you be loading up on making sure you use that time? LSU football, this is a season where you have 16 unfamiliar transfers trying to fit into the fabric of LSU football, and I think they have so far. I think, in fact, you're seeing guys like Jack Pyburn, Patrick Payton, Jameer Butler, Barry Brown. You're seeing these guys vocally leading their units, leading their position groups. They're doing the dances out there. They're doing the gritty and stuff. They're they're having fun out there. And there's a swagger about this group that is very intoxicating. And it could be something special. It could be something to watch out for. Because when I see a bunch of guys having fun together, they're all okay. You're already out there playing football. You're already trying to your common goals, your individual goals. Want to make it to the NFL. Want to make a lot of money. Want blah 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 blah. All this stuff. Okay, and then there's of course win championships. All make NIL money. All the goals, all the ambitions, all that stuff. And you put it to the side, and what's there? You want to have a group of young men who actually not only have fun playing the game together, but have fun making each other better. That's what you want to see. Like, okay, we are like literally getting high off of getting better. And that's what you saw with the 2019 LSU team. You felt like they were on drugs or something, because there was almost like this complete mechanical machine-like just Terminator 3 cyborg type insanity, where Joe Burrow was just Skynet is real type of vibes. 60 touched. I mean, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase making each other go better and better, one up each other until Jamar Chase gets to 20 touchdowns. Justin Jefferson just underneath him at 18. Even had 13 from Terrace Marshall. That is what is possible at LSU every single season when you have the right personnel and you have the right coaching staff. And this team has the right personnel in most cases. There is some debate about who's going to play where, what this, say the offensive line is going to look like. We're going to talk about that. Who's going to start at receiver, blah, 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 blah. There's some, ins and outs to be figured out. Okay. All in all, you've got to like who LSU has on deck here. You've got to like the speed all over this team, not just on offense, not just the receiver position, not just at running back, on defense. You got to like the athleticism up front. The problem is LSU just have such few proven – there's such few proven depth. That doesn't really make sense grammatically right there. Few – they have few proven depth pieces on the trenches. We'll say that, I guess. That doesn't even sound right either. But they don't have as many proven, offensive linemen or say safety play as they do at corner or maybe at linebacker. You know what I'm saying? Like there's Davon Keys or, Ashton Stamps at corner and at linebacker. And then you got, at offensive line, Weston Davis and Tyree Adams. You think you're going to get a lot of good out of Tyree Adams. Weston Davis looks like he's coming along at right tackle as well. Can they be your bookends? It is way too early to say that type of stuff. Way too early. I think it might even be too early for week one. I think that's the problem. LSU have a lot of depth and a lot of talent, and they're doing a lot of experimentation throughout spring of a lot of rotation. But as much as these transfers have not just come in and walked in and just beat every returning guy to, that position battle, we've seen this before under Brian Kelly, where in spring you have that feeling of, it's competition everywhere. That guy didn't just walk in and just win this battle. And then first day of fall camp, the transfer, the higher paid guy is like starting. And it's been like, well, it was going to be that way anyway. And people like completely forget that they had a whole different reality on the situation before. I always find that very intriguing. But LSU have a chance for two things that are really exciting, in my opinion. First, I'm not saying that this is like more important than the other that we're going to get into, but just two things that I find extremely just very enticing as a fan. First, DJ Pickett. DJ Pickett, man. I think he's gonna. Not only must he start, but it would be foolish for him not to, because you really want to hang in there with him for 3 full years and get the best out of him at LSU, right? But I have a feeling about him, man. I have a feeling about him. I have a feeling that Pickett is just, he's ready to come in there and make interceptions. He's ready to come in there, get past breakups. He's ready to come in there and lock fuckers down. Okay, sorry, I shouldn't have swore. Lock people down. Lock dudes down. Lock elite receivers down. He's already wearing the number 3. Given that type of you would be foolish, in my opinion, to expect him not to start for LSU as a freshman. He's that caliber of player. From the height perspective, from the athleticism perspective, he's got it. I mean, it's outrageous. From the plays on the ball that he can make perspective, checks those boxes as well. He's done that. It's not some guy who's coming in here who's got like 2 career picks or something. Like, I mean, Pickett, this is a dude who's already had 2 picks just in spring ball for LSU. May have had more at this point now. 6'4" DJ Pickett. My God. This is a dude who had 10 interceptions. 10 interceptions and scored 25 offensive touchdowns and caught 130 passes in his prep career at Zephyr Hills. That's outrageous. And DJ Pickett, man, he's got to be it. He's got to be it for me. He's got to start out wide for me. And I think, obviously, you're probably going to see Mansour Delane, or maybe at Mansour Delane and Ashton Stamps kind of rotating, or Ashton Stamps and DJ Pickett rotating with Mansour Delane starting on an island on the other side. I could see that. But man, DJ Pickett, he was already practicing for the bowl game, the last Texas Bowl. So Pickett has been in and around the program, and he's a dude who a lot of expected to be that day one star. Ooh, there we go. There's Zach Weeks. DJ Pickett. Zach Weeks is actually right now on a journey across the country. I mean, not across the country, across the world right now with his family. It's absolutely crazy. Awesome what they're doing. But DJ Pickett has to start for me. Has to start in year 1 for me. Now, the second thing that really intrigues me, because I think starting DJ Pickett is gonna benefit the defense. No one's gonna want to throw over him or his way. They'll test him, and they're gonna F around and find out, you know. But what intrigues me, second thing, is this offense. This offense could be, really, if it isn't, you're gonna feel like, how could it not have been an absolute juggernaut? because Nussmeier, I think he threw for more yards than any player, any quarterback in LSU history year one. I believe that was the numbers. That's his first throw as a starter for LSU. Boom. Just ridiculous. And the NFL type throws he has made in the toughest situations. That was right under the press box, right on our side. That was outrageous play. Garrett Nussmeier made errors, yeah. But you're going to make errors when you throw as many attempts as he did to the type of receiving core that he had to throw to. Our receiving core this year is so much better receiving core. And you're going to see that from the get-go. He's not just going to put up a bunch of empty yards. Crazy from Lacey, that jump right there. I think Nuss has the ability here to actually come savagely close to some of Burrow's passing records. He has the arm, he has the ability, he has the weapons now this season. You also add dual threat Caden Durham out of the backfield. This isn't just Caden Durham running the football up the middle, hand it off to him. He's a running back like you think of a running back. You've seen Caden Durham play. What did he do? The first play against South Alabama, he runs through the middle, makes one cut, and he's gone for 86 yards. The next play, offensive play, he catches a swing pass, makes another move, he's gone for 82. So you're going to have a weapon out of the backfield right there at will in Caden Durham. And then you're going to have these type of receivers. And I know some folks have said these guys aren't tall enough. We don't have a receiver that's over 6'2". 6'2" is our tallest receiver or something like that. And that is interesting. That is interesting to point out. LSU do lack that height that they've traditionally had on at the receiver position. And do you know how you combat that? You run a lot of slants and a lot of over-the-middle passing, a lot of mesh routes, a lot of concepts, a lot of in routes, stuff like that. And guess what? That benefits these type of guys' skill set. Not running these out patterns, these 3-yard out patterns to nowhere like this last season, like we were doing. You're going to actually see these guys getting the ball over the middle. And you saw what Aaron Anderson can do over the middle when getting the ball against A&M. Catch and run, go for 70. And now you got Marion Brown to add to that. You got Nick Anderson to add to that. That's an arsenal, baby. That's an arsenal. One second, everybody. Intermission real quick. 1 second. My apologies for that, everybody. This LSU squad, I don't want to sound like a homer. I don't want to sound like a sunshine pumping, dumbass here who's just like, LSU gonna win championships every year, yeah. Like, that's not what I'm trying to say. And I'm not saying it's just pencil in LSU going to win a championship this year. That's kind of ridiculous to even assert at this point when so much is undecided for LSU at this juncture. But when you look at the weapons, just the list of weapons LSU have, can Joe Sloan really screw this up offensively? You look at a defense with Harold Perkins at star finally, a position where he'll be like a pseudo linebacker, pseudo edge rusher, pseudo, secondary guy, depending on the play. And if you use him right, you roll the dice correctly, you let his instincts take over, you might have a Butkus winner, all sorts of different awards. You could Bednarik a winner. I mean, maybe even a Heisman nominee. Whit Weeks, Tamarcus Cooley at the back, Mansour Delane, Dominic McKinley, Ahmad Bro up the middle, Gabe Relaford, Patrick Payton on the edges, Jameer Butler, Jack Pyburn. You've got a defense that could really do some savage work this season. And then offensively, you just see weapons, you see speed everywhere. You've got depth at tight end. You got maybe an unguardable target in the red zone in Trey'Dez Green. 4 red zone catches, 4 touchdown catches for Trey'Dez Green as a freshman. If LSU do this correctly, and I mean just ruthlessly, get Trey'Dez Green 5 touchdowns in a game, because maybe you go down to the red zone 5 different times where you think, you know what, let's just throw it to Trey'Dez. We know it's automatic. Do it. And he ends with, 5 catches, 25 yards, and 5 touchdowns. So be it. If you need to, beat teams by going down there and ground and pounding it to not just Caden Durham, but even Caleb Jackson, fine. I don't care. Run the football. Control games. If you can do that, fantastic. I'm all on board. I think all of us would say, yes, great. We can run the football and have a balanced passing attack. This is fantastic. The last time we had this was 2019. I mean, actually take that back, 2023. But that was mostly with Jaden Daniels' legs doing the running for us. Logan Diggs had some good yards that season. Had some good plays at running back. John Emery Jr. did as well. So, you know what? We'll throw that in. 2023, 2022, you could say had a balanced offensive attack. Mostly because of Jaden Daniels. But you put these two factors together. LSU have a defense that, how do you screw this up? How can Blake Baker get this wrong when he's got so much speed and athleticism with these linebackers, with that secondary? He's got a secondary that is thin, but should have the tools to at least put LSU in a top 45, top 50 range of defense, right? Rankings. The safety position is concerning, especially we're just one injury away from the whole makeup of that room looking different. So that room to me is still not solved, still not figured out, despite picking up a strong player in Tamarcus Cooley in the transfer portal. You have to hope that he hits. Plus, Javian Toviano really makes good and in year 3 and has an incredible year 3 and delivers on that 5-star promise that he had coming out of Martin Heim. But the defense just has to be top 50, top 60. They don't have to shut people out or do anything like that. Offensively, if your offensive line, if we can just figure out a group that can effectively run the football and then just set Nussmeier up for some type of niche passing attack, whether that's quick fire, quick striking passing attacks, not long protections, which is, I think, what we should be focusing on with not only the personnel at our disposal offensively, but also, Garrett Nussmeier's talent and the receiving profiles that he's throwing the ball to, all that speed. You kind of want a quick strike offense as well, but it actually might suit the offensive line because maybe they're not equipped to, be a, great wall of Will Campbell China back there, I just see such a potential for a team here that is going to really surprise a lot of people. So much still has to be figured out. I am no sunshine pumper. Just my eyes are completely glazed over with just wonder of what could be. Oh, LSU, I understand that LSU have screwed the pooch a few times the last few seasons. Look at the 2021 receiving core. The 2021 receiving core had Kayshon Boutte, Malik Neighbors, Jack Besh, Chris Hilton Jr. I mean, I'm missing Brian Thomas Jr. It was ridiculous. It was like an endless buffet of receiving greats. All those guys are receiving talents who are going to be first, second round picks if they haven't been already. 1,000-yard receivers. If it's crazy. Or Chris Hilton Jr.'s case, expected to become one. And that 2021 room could have been something special and never really hit the juice. In 2022, you had most of those guys, actually all those guys. Deion Smith was in that 2021 room as well. We're forgetting Deion Smith. But in 2022, all those guys come back, and you didn't really do shit with those guys. Your leading receiver was like Jere Jenkins. So I've seen LSU have these type of weapons, have this type of great fortune of just absolute athletic greatness, defensively, offensively. And I've seen injuries. I've seen coaching errors. I've seen a lot of different things screw this up. I've seen, some players just not give it their all and just not, they just didn't deliver. I've seen a lot of these different types of scenarios. This 2025 LSU team has a very dramatic type of arc to it here, where this can go really one of two ways. Either very disappointing with a lot of fallout, or very promising with a lot of just greatness going forward. A lot of greatness that we've just experienced. You're going to see championship contention or championship, or you don't make the CFP, injuries, and the season ends in kind of a diabolical disaster. And more questions going into more questions leaving the season than we had going in. That's what we're facing this year, because there are a lot of factors still yet to be decided. The effectiveness and impact of the 16 transfers. Is Garrett Nussmeier going to take that next step? can Blake Baker, deliver that elite echelon defense we've been expecting for 5-6 years at LSU now? I mean, you really can't even count 2019 as an elite defense in that. Can't even count 2018 in that equation either. It's been like since 2017 we've had an elite defense at LSU. Is Joe Sloan going to overcome those difficulties he had in year one, where he really had some howlers, made some poor play calls, and then he also had some bad execution, where guys were just not executing well at all on some pretty brilliant play calls. So he had both of those on both extremes of that spectrum. All that matters, it doesn't matter who starts, it doesn't matter who plays, it just matters if LSU wins at this point. And you're going to see decisions, hopefully, made based on that and that merit alone. Who is going to help LSU win games in 2025? And I think you're going to see that from Brian Kelly. Everybody, this is our daily show. Thank you for joining us, and we'll be talking to you soon. Have a good one, everybody. Happy Friday. Check out LSUODYSSEY.COM for more. We are going to be posting something very crazy later on. I can't really reveal much. I can't really give any information much on this, but the last little while we've been planning a lot of things, and can't wait to unleash. Everybody, thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for your love. Have a great Friday. Go Tigers, baby.